You doubted me. You doubted me. You doubted. I said Knicks in five, and you're like, no, I think the Knicks could win in 6 games. This is going to be a tougher series than you think, Mouth. Tougher series than you think. I hear Victor Wembanyama cry. I said, nope, nope. He ain't gonna do nothing to Cat. Cat's got him. You're gonna see the evolution of Carl Anthony Towns. Um,
Well,
Mouth. I know you think you're right about everything, Mouth, but Victor Wembanyama is gonna show you that
well,
he's the real dominant big man in this
look
series.
at what I had said. Go back to what I said about a week or so ago of how to contain Wemby, take him out of
Yeah.
his comfort zone. I
Yep.
said that how many times? Take him out of his comfort zone. You
That's
force
right.
him to shoot from the outside. You prevent him from attacking the paint. The Knicks are going to
And
be
you
in good
force
shape.
and then you force him to defend on the perimeter too.
Yeah.
And
You
you
can,
forced him with Carl Anthony Towns to play all over the court,
yeah.
not just
Yeah.
underneath.
He doesn't have the ability to turn around quick for a guy that's 7'4". I don't care how athletic
Right.
you are. You're basically, if you go straight at the basket with Wemby there and then you make a move around him, you can beat him.
That's right.
That's how you can, or if you attack the glass, that's also something Wemby can't do. You attack the glass, you could maybe force a goaltend or something of that nature. All right. So far, if you're the Knicks, the first two games, love what they've done. Okay. I love the defense Towns has played on Wembanyama so far. The Knicks, you know what? Knicks, their medal was
Super
tested.
Kitty!
Their medal was tested for the first two games. All right. Their medal was,
Super Kitty!
yeah, Super Kitty was huge. Their medal was tested in their first two games. All
He
right.
swats shots away like a ball of yarn. He's
Yeah.
Super Kitty.
Yes, he is. So the Knicks were down
Sashay
14.
is down the court.
So the Knicks were down 14 in the first game. All right. Panic was maybe starting to settle. Oh, the Knicks ready for this. The Spurs are young. They're fast. And look, the Spurs have given it to us in two games. We've had to really earn these wins. We're not going to win this series by blowing out teams. Okay. That worked against the other two. The Spurs are not that type of animal. They're a team you're going to have to earn these wins against,
That's
period.
right. I agree. By
So,
the way, shouts to Stephen Castle.
Stefan
Um,
Castle. Yep.
Stefan Castle, his father
Mm-hmm.
actually was a police officer, and
Hmm.
for the Far Rockaway precinct, the 101 precinct in Far Rockaway, played shooting guard in
Huh.
Far Rockaway High School in the early 90s.
Well, well, well.
Played against Tim Duncan when he was the shooting guard in Far Rockaway High.
Wow. And now his son's playing the opposite team in the Spurs. It's like a homecoming. It's amazing. You've had nobody even talked about that. Nobody even cared to say, "Hey, Castle's dad served in the police department." Nobody even mentioned that. The only ones that people knew, Harper was a Jersey kid, Dylan Harper, and Champagny was a Brooklyn native who played at Bishop Lachlan High School, while Alvarado
That's right.
played at Christ the King.
Well, because here's the thing. Castle was born in Covington, Georgia.
Mm,
His father is the one with the Far Rockaway roots.
I see.
But, you know, uh, Far Rock America repped in the NBA Finals. Unfortunately, he's on the wrong team. So,
Well, look,
sad faces. But, maybe one day your agent will wisen up and get you on a winning organization like the Knicks. I can't believe I'm saying that. This is how you know the apocalypse
yeah.
has arrived.
Look, well, let's go. Okay, so the Knicks were down 14 in the first game. Okay, we're trailing after the first quarter, second quarter, they started to mount a little comeback. Then the Knicks began to take over the game late third quarter. And then by the fourth quarter, the Knicks were finally able to pull ahead and win the game by 10. Okay.
That's right.
But the Spurs did rally back a few times in that first game. Then the second game happens. Knicks built the lead, went up 8. Spurs rallied. Knicks then went up 14 late in the fourth quarter, about 6 minutes. Spurs rallied. And fortunately, a bad turnover by Wemby throwing it off the back of Castle allowed the Knicks to hit a one free throw and
Over
give
the
credit
back of
to
Castle's head,
yeah back more
nonetheless.
like went off his back, more of his head. I could it looked like it more went
It
off
was
his
the
back
back
than
of his
his
head. It was literally off the back of his freaking head. It landed like like here you go. You
I thought it
see
was
it on
more
the
lower. I
camera
thought it was
right
more
here.
lower back than his head, but
It was like
okay.
right here. It landed bong bong right there.
Point of the matter is, turned it over. Okay, Brunson
Yep,
made 1 out of 2 free throws. Cool. Okay. Then Mitchell Robinson. We talked about Mitch, and now he would be an important one in this series. We mentioned Towns and Mitch are going to be tested in this against Wembanyama. Give Mitch credit, not leaving his feet, force Wembanyama to throw up a shot.
that's right.
Not many big men are able to stand their ground like that against someone like Wemby.
That's right. But
Hey,
Mitchell Robinson can, and I got to tell you something. The defense of Karl Anthony Towns, and you know, a lot of people will say, yeah, Brunson, and yeah, Brunson's the star, but the main difference between the last two Nick playoff runs and this Nick playoff run is the play of Karl Anthony
yes,
Towns.
yes,
Uh, you know, a lot of people have been on Cat and
yes.
have been attacking the guy and saying, you know, hell, for 10 years.
Yeah,
It took 10 years.
yeah. Look, not
But
everybody blossoms right away. It takes time.
this is the player that everybody expected him to be.
And now
This
he's become it.
is the best big man in the NBA.
Well,
This is the tops.
yeah. If this is all the time what people like Shaq wanted to get out of Towns, because you know how Shaq is. We've watched Shaq, and you watch Shaq on the NBA on NBA on pregame on TNT and all that. Well, ESPN
Yep.
now. You know when you hear Shaq talk, he talks directly to the NBA big men. He has expectations for big men that he hopes maybe they could follow the same that he did. All right, Cat's finally bought into that. The great thing I'm seeing Cat motivating his teammates. You never saw Towns doing that in the old days. He would never do that. He's learned how to lead by example. He's learned how to lead off
Yep.
the court.
Yep.
And it goes a long way to why was Mike Brown the perfect fit for Cat when all other coaches just didn't seem to unlock what this version of Cat now is that we're seeing.
I mean, he finally has the strength of character to lead the team in the first part of the game. The big part of why the Knicks are dominating the way they've been dominating on this run. Karl Anthony Towns has been leading the charge in the first three quarters, and Brunson's been finishing it off for the last quarter and a half.
Yeah. Well,
That's the
definitely that's what
formula of
Brunson's been.
success.
Well, that's definitely what Brunson at the end is definitely doing. And yeah, Karl Towns has been picking up the scoring a little bit more, not as much, but still, you're seeing him take more of those attacks to the net, which is something he didn't do a lot during the regular season. So you're seeing Cat attack the basket more. Also controlling the number of fouls he's been drawing, which was huge.
The
Obviously, of
numbers
course,
don't look that much different, but the way he gets to those numbers.
yeah. Obviously, the complaints of the first 2 games were, oh, Scott Foster ref game 1 and then Tony Brothers ref game 2. And, he was not calling fouls for the Knicks. They were calling fouls for the Spurs. And,
They were. I agree.
I mean,
Doesn't matter though. The Knicks
yeah,
won.
thankfully, yes, because that could have been because it could have been very different.
Oh yeah, no, the refs blew the whistle every chance they could for the San Antonio Spurs. They really did.
Mark Davis is refing tonight.
To
Mark Davis is refing the game tonight. I don't know how much different he is compared to Foster, who everybody calls the extender, and Brothers, who, well, honestly, I don't have a nickname for Brothers, but yeah, look, some of the calls I was seeing were ridiculous. Brunson is getting knocked to the ground multiple times. Josh Hart was on the ground after a ball was kicked, but yet they call him for tripping Castle.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Or was that? I think that was Vassell. I think that was Vassell.
Something like that.
Yeah. And then you had, of course, this is what really did it for me. Mitch is barely even touching Wemby. We're calling a technical foul.
Yep.
We're calling Mitch for a tech. Thankfully, that tech got rescinded. Thank goodness.
Yeah, and then on the very next possession, OG can get clotheslined and damn near choked on his way up to the basket, and that's just 2 shots. What?
Not a flagrant. They didn't even call a
No,
flagrant for
not a
that.
flagrant. No,
No. Yeah.
never. That would never be a flagrant.
Yeah.
Because you know who did it? It was Wembenyama.
Yeah.
No,
And
so
then the whole
that can't be
second
a
half of
flagrant.
game 2, the Knicks only had, I think,
Wembenyama can elbow people in the throat, and that's not a
yeah.
flagrant. So a regular old clothesline,
Yeah.
you're lucky they even called the foul.
The whole second half of game 2, the Knicks had 4 free throws. That's it. 4 free throws. 4.
Yep.
Yeah. They did hit them. Thank goodness. You know, you have to take advantage of the opportunities when you get them, and that's fine. Obviously, one was challenged, which OG had the 3 free throws late, which was huge as well. All right, but now the point of the matter is now Knicks are up 2-0. Now you play your first game at the Garden of these finals for game 3. 1999 was the last time MSG had an NBA final there. 1999. And back then the Knicks were down 2-0. And 99 the Knicks were down 2-0 in that final. This time they're up 2-0. Tables have turned a little bit here. Big turn. But
Knicks lost that series in 5.
Yeah. We have not, many of the Knicks Nation has not forgotten.
Right?
Well, if the Knicks can close out game 3 and 4 at the Garden,
oh, that would be
amazing. But obviously,
could you imagine to win the NBA Finals, winning 15 games in a row in the postseason?
Something only Golden State did.
NBA championship.
Only something Golden State did. Crazy.
15 games in a row.
15.
This would be the most dominant run.
Yeah.
This is the most dominant. If they sweep the Spurs here, this is the most dominant run in NBA history.
Well, all the pieces are in front for the Knicks to pull this off. Now, of course, I'm expecting the Spurs are going to play like it's desperation. There shouldn't be even any doubt. Spurs have been saying what they've had to say. Wembanyama's made his piece about this as well. Some people have been very critical of Wemby's comments here and there, but the point of the matter is the Spurs are going to keep playing. This is not over. The Spurs are going to play. They're going to come hard and fast at the Knicks. I expect that to happen. The Knicks need to have a cleaner first half than they've had in the first 2 games. The Knicks need to be on the better end of the first quarter. Doesn't help when the Knicks are trailing after a quarter or behind after a quarter. And then, now the Knicks have been winning the long game, which is very important. You want to win the long game, you take your time, just be patient, the shots will fall. But if the Knicks can get off to a good...
though.
Huh?
That is how the Knicks play, though. They generally, especially against the better teams and the more upper echelon teams in the NBA, they'll end up, as long as, here's how I feel.
Yeah.
Game 2, the Knicks played terribly.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to front. They should have been down by 20 going into halftime.
Yeah.
They played god-awful.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Super Kitty and Mikal Bridges...
Yeah, well, Bridges especially. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we would have been down like 15. We would have been down like 15 points.
In quarter 1, it was Cat. In quarter 1, it was Cat. In quarter 2, it was Bridges. If it wasn't for those 2 guys, the Knicks would have been down by 20 points going into the third quarter. And there would have been no way in hell the Knicks would have been able to do anything.
No doubt.
It would have been a blowout.
That's been one of the great things with this run for this Knicks team. Somebody different every game has stepped up for this team. Doesn't only have to be Brunson. Doesn't only have to be Super Kitty. Bridges has stepped up if you needed him to get some points. Maybe Deuce will come up in one game and get big points. Somebody different.
I love hearing Mike Green. That's why you trade 5 draft picks to get Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, and then of course, let's not even forget Landry Shamet's
I got
huge
told off there. Well, I got told off there, didn't I? I got my big happy fat Italian ass handed to me there.
Unbelievable.
I love it though. I love it because you know what? I want to be wrong about Mikal Bridges. I want to be wrong about the OG trade. I want to be wrong about all of the ways I criticize this team because and its general management because forget just this century. This team has been starving for a title since the early 70s.
73. I know it's times were so different back in 73, just as times were different back in 94, and just as different as times were back in 1999. It's Knicks fans have waited years.
Too damn long. And I just remember Patrick Ewing being in the stands for the Eastern Conference Finals with tears in his eyes watching this team.
Yeah. I'm sure even Clyde Frazier was shedding a few tears as well. He hasn't
No,
seen
but
the Knicks be this.
but
Yeah,
Patrick,
yeah. This
all
is long
those
overdue for
tears
him. This is very long overdue.
when he came so close all of those years, man.
Yes.
Patrick Ewing gave his body, his blood, his soul to that orange and blue
Yes.
to come up with nothing. And then in 99 against the Spurs to be hurt and not play when he
Yeah.
knew that if he was out there,
Oh man, would have been a difference. Would have made a difference right away.
a difference right away, they would have won the title with Ewing out
Yeah.
there.
Well, imagine being Rick Brunson, who was a player during that 99 series. Just imagine
Yep.
being Rick. Now his son is trying to capture the city. Now, tonight, the big honchos are going to be at the game tonight, including the President of the United States. I've already been seeing some videos of how they've closed off the whole area outside the Garden. The crowd's been packing 34th and 6th Avenue.
You know, I've been
amazing.
told that I
It's amazing.
really shouldn't talk about
No.
tangerines.
You don't
I
have to.
shouldn't talk
I'm
about
not even
oranges and
asking him,
tangerines.
saying it's going to be packed. The president's going to be here. That's it. Okay. I'm keeping it at that. Okay. Here's
Yeah.
that's all I'm going to say about it. It's going to be it's packed tonight. It's a big
Can I just say one thing? Everybody who's so concerned about the security MSG, you realize they're probably landing him on the roof of the building, right? MSG has helicopter access.
He's not going to be sitting courtside. All right. He's not going to sit
No.
courtside. He will not sit courtside.
He's sitting with James Dolan and his stupid little band
Well,
and his stupid little owners.
well, James Dolan invited him. James Dolan
Of course
extended
he
an
did.
invitation.
Of course he did, because James Dolan is James Dolan, and he's going to do James Dolan.
Well, Oakley's not going to be there. As much as everybody wanted Charles Oakley to be back, but I'm sorry, the falling out between him and Dolan, even with this team where they are now, it's still irreparable.
Well,
some of the stuff people say is, well, Oakley did that to himself.
No, Dolan is look, I'm not going to bring up Dolan. I'm not going to do all that. I will not put negativity on the Knicks. And by
we're not
the way,
no, we're not.
As much as I don't like the guy, he's a Knicks fan. He's been a Knicks fan his whole life. He's from the city.
Yeah,
even though we don't like to claim it. Whatever.
It's
I don't
fine.
care.
Look, this is a different type of aura this time. This is a team that's
whatever
uniting a city. When it's New York and you're in the finals to play for a championship.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
different.
matter. It doesn't matter who else is in the building with you. You're there. Knicks fans, you're there for a reason. This is, since 1973, this is the one thing that's united this city. Don't let anything divide it now. No. It doesn't matter who shows up.
Even my fellow workers at my job are going to be allowed to wear Knick hats for all the home games of these NBA finals. That's something my job would never have given us. Actually, they apparently did that in the past, but this is because this is a big moment in history right now.
The Knicks are the one team that unites everybody in this city.
The game of basketball always unites everyone.
It doesn't matter what your but the Knicks, it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. It doesn't matter what you think, what you believe in. The New York Knicks are the one religion that everyone in this city follows.
Yeah.
You got old grandmothers putting pictures of Jalen Brunson on their at-home altars when they pray their rosaries before they go to sleep. Yeah. You have Jewish grandmothers putting it next to their Torahs when they light candles. You have all different religions. They got pictures of Brunson like I think I saw like a compilation on YouTube of different grandmothers of different faiths putting pictures of different Knicks
Wow.
in their altars to pray.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You gotta love that. You gotta love that.
So I mean, if there is anything that would unite everyone, it's the New York Knicks.
Yes. You're sounding just like Stephen A. You're sounding just
We're
like our
gonna
man.
unite this country in orange and blue.
Well, these finals are just the first piece of that. Obviously, of course, the FIFA World Cup is only just days away, and that's going to be in the tri-state. Obviously, also
Yes.
in overseas, also
U.S. and the Canada and
in
Mexico,
Mexico.
North America hosting the World Cup.
Yes.
That's going to be crazy. 3 host countries, not just one.
Yes.
Not just one.
Well, if you're a sportsman, this is the greatest time to be watching sports now, is for moments like this. Now, as the Knicks get ready.
Especially in this city.
Yeah.
Especially in New York City, this is the best time to be watching sports.
So now as the Knicks get ready for tonight.
Unless you're a baseball fan. That baseball don't exist right now. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, as the Knicks now get ready for tonight, as the Knicks get ready to prepare for tonight's game, and it's going to be a big deal. Everybody's watching. Everybody wants to see history made. How do the Knicks keep the momentum going, keep this run going, and do not give the Spurs any reason to feel like they can come back?
Cat point 4.
Stick with what's been working. Okay, fair.
KP4. I'm sorry, KP5. There's your formula. The mathematical equation KP5.
All right.
Cat point 5.
Okay. I don't expect too much to change
down
from that.
Low, Cat assist from down low. But Vegas only has Cat at 4.5 assists. That's the betting line.
Everybody's been betting against the Knicks this whole season.
I think that's going to be up. For everybody that thinks that Cat only is going to have only 4.5 assists.
No, he can give you. He's done double doubles. He's going to get you. He's going to get you at least 8-9 assists.
You think 8 assists?
At least double that number. You're saying 4 at least. I think he'll get at least 8.
Well, if you want to go at least 8, then go on DraftKings, actually.
Okay.
And 8 assists will get you times 2.36 your bet.
That's
more than double
big.
your money.
That'd be pretty huge.
8 assists will get you more than double your money. And then if you add juice or boost on top of 8 assists, oh boy.
It's going to be huge.
All the money. You'll get all the money.
Well,
so Beast, you're saying 8 assists for Cat tonight.
I think he can get at least 8. I think he can get at least 8 tonight.
So if you think he can get at least 8, let's be conservative. Let's be safe. Bet that he's going to get over 5 assists. He's going to get 6 assists tonight. Bet that he'll get 6 assists tonight.
Yeah.
That's double your money.
Yes.
Double your money is 6 assists. If you bet that he's going to get 8 assists, you're getting times 6 on your money, I think.
Yeah, at least. That's good. Look, the odds, the way he's been playing, Cat, I think those numbers look very good. I think those are pretty good odds to go.
Do you know where I got this lovely idea? From our friends and partners at the Professional Fanatics.
Always love them.
Any of our prop bets, any gambling advice, I go straight to the experts at the Professional Fanatics podcast, live stream every single day. Go to professionalfanatics.com, sign up for their Patreon, get in the Discord. It's the place to be. 18 and over. Viewer discretion is advised. Gambling problem, please make sure you gamble responsibly. However, if you're going to gamble, make sure you listen to Rob. You won't lose as much money that way. Trust me, you'll make more money than you lose if you listen to Rob.
Now, I'm hoping
gambling will look a lot more like investing.
Now, I'm hoping that we will. Now, I hope that we'll, at least with the Spurs now going to be the road team now for this, and obviously the fans let the Spurs hear it when they came to the hotel getting ready for the game today. Fans were letting them hear it, and it's rightfully so.
Yep.
Considering how the Knicks were introduced at the Spurs game, they were introduced as some weird That was how they were introduced for both games in San Antonio. They introduced the Knicks lineup to that music, like just
Do, 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 do.
that. Like that
What
music
the
sounded
old
so.
what the old school Knickerbocker theme?
That wasn't. If that was the Knickerbocker, that is not the Knickerbocker theme. No way. That could
Isn't
not
that
be the
an
Knicks.
old school Knickerbocker like do 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 do
It
do
sounded like
do
some
do
old 1950s music from
do
Hello
do do
Dolly.
do
That sounded like ice cream
do.
truck music.
Yeah, well, no. That wasn't ice cream truck. You know what we should do then? Ice cream truck music. When the Spurs come out, we should play the Mr. Softy music.
How about you watch the gory movie that's going to feature the ice cream truck coming into theaters very soon? A very gory movie called The Ice Cream Man. And he's not
I
giving
don't.
ice cream to to little kids for happy and joy. Oh no, no.
Oh no. It's like the clown in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the clown that's in the ice cream truck.
Oh no.
That's what
When the kids eat the ice cream man's ice cream, they go psychotically nuts. I don't think I want to go into more details. The movie, I just saw the
that's what
trailer. The
happened.
movie creeped me out, man. It was creepy.
That's what happened. You see what happens when you buy into the ESPN Wemby hype?
Okay.
You go
Well,
psychotically nuts.
okay. Well,
You go
look,
psychotically nuts, and then you do
look.
crazy things like bet all your rent on the Spurs to win
We're
in
not going to
six.
go to the extreme of introducing, I would think not. We'll introduce the
We
Spurs
should
professionally, the right way,
we
not to
should
that music the Knicks were introduced to.
no, we should introduce the Spurs to the Mr. Softy music.
Well,
The
I
New
guess,
York City original Mr. Softy, the ice cream truck. We should just have the Mr. Softy music play.
yes, wouldn't that be adorable? I think wouldn't that be
It
well,
would. I think that would set the tone. I think Victor Wembanyama that would set the tone very nicely for Mr. Wembanyama.
well, Mr. Ray,
Stefan Castle would be reminded of when he would maybe every once in a while come back and visit his father's old hometown.
well, our man that we call the Phantom of the Garden, the ghost of MSG, Mr. Ray Castoldi, who has been the
Mm.
regular music director and the organist you hear for all Knick games at MSG, going all the way back to 1989. So he's been there for 30 plus years, being the organist of Knicks games. You've heard it all the time. You hear the dun, dun and then the defense, the etc. I'm sure
Mr.
he'll come up with
Castoli,
something. Huh?
Mr. Castoli,
Castoldi. Yep.
Mr. Castoli, please, the Mr. Softy theme.
I'm sure you could play it on the organ. I'm very sure you could
I
play it
know he
on the
could.
organ.
I know he could, and he did. And on the organ, especially like the really old school organs. They even have like a bell switch, like a
Oh,
switch for like timpani bells
hmm. Well, I'd have
on
to
some of
see what
those.
I'm sure. Look, I'm sure. I'm sure. Look, they'll have something good for this. I'm not. They're not going to throw shade at the Spurs. I don't want to throw shade at any opponent. We're trying to, and I'm glad that the Knicks have not allowed any of the, those typical questions the media tries to stir the pot. The Knicks have backed off of that. They're focusing on. You even heard even when Bridges, even after the Knicks won the other game, Bridges he wasn't smiling about winning the game. 0-0. That's been the mantra of all the Knicks. It's 0-0. Next game.
There's a mission
We're
here.
not worried. We're not going to celebrate like we won the whole thing.
There's a
You haven't.
mission here.
Yeah.
This team looks like they're on a mission, and Brunson looks like he wants to take no losses.
Yeah, the whole team has a chip on their shoulder. That's the big deal.
Definitely.
And honestly, there's a lot more riding on things than just that. There's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of things happening. For one, Cat is eligible for free agency very soon. He has an option for 27, 28, and he's obviously signed, but he can definitely, depending what happens, Cat could walk down the road. Obviously, you want to have a title in your pocket before that happens, of course. And I'm thinking about that right now, but there's a lot riding on this final because I don't think the Knicks will ever get back here again. I don't know if you're going to see the Knicks back here for a long time. If they don't, they got to. This is their chance. This is their best opportunity.
If they win now, I'll tell you something. If they win now, expect to see them again multiple times with this iteration of team. If they don't,
Well,
this
look,
could
this is
be
their best
the end
opportunity
of
they've
this.
had. This is their best
I'm telling
opportunity
you
they've had.
something, Beast, and New York fans and NBA fans. If the Knicks win the title now,
Yes.
I think this team could be a finals contender every single season for a couple of years to come, at least for 3 or 4 seasons.
Well, that's about maybe the window you might have. I mean, Brunson's coming up on 30 years old, 29 going on
Yeah.
30. The bulk of this Knick team is about 28 years old.
Yep.
Mitch 28, Brunson 29, Towns is 30. So
They're there.
this is
And they
about,
learned how to win. And thanks to
yeah,
Thibodeau, they spent a couple of years in the postseason ahead of where they should have been in their rebuild
yeah.
process.
They've learned how to
So,
play. Everybody's bought in. They've learned how to play as a team. That's the most
by
important
the
thing we've
way,
seen.
if the Knicks do win, there needs to be some way that Thibodeau gets brought to MSG and honored, given a ring, something,
Well, we'll see what happens there.
he
That's an interesting
has
one.
because he has earned it for building this roster and getting them to this point. Because if it wasn't for him, a
Yes.
lot of the guys would not have all of the playoff experience that they do have
Yeah.
because for years they were running this under Thibodeau.
Mm.
And, guys like Mitchell Robinson, guys the McBrides, the Mitches, the
Yeah.
the
Well,
Brunsons who've been here for years, like the guys who have been here for years, like on this
yes.
rebuild process, who have seen multiple rounds in the playoffs,
It's funny you bring up
not just
Tibbs.
first round eliminations.
It's funny you bring up Tibbs because one of the lone pieces from the Tibbs era is still here with the Knicks right now. And that's their defensive coach, Darren Erman. He was here since Thibodeau took over in 2020. He hasn't left. And the Knicks defense is still played the same way with Erman at the helm. So it's really like the spirit of Thibodeau never left.
That's right.
At least in these playoffs, it certainly never left. It's still here. So
They kept the important parts.
yes, Erman was a very big deal, not just with the Knicks, but he also was an assistant for Boston in 2008 when they won the NBA title and had Doc Rivers coaching the team. So that's a big deal. He also joined Golden State for a time from 2010 to 2014.
Yep.
Lo and behold, a title was won during that period of time. Two of them
And
were.
the reason you have him is thanks to a guy who's been working in the shadows, who I criticized when he first got hired, and I got to give him props.
Okay.
Because when you're wrong, and you own up to it, and you're a man about it, and you go on your broadcasts, and you go on the same platforms that you say, why the hell they do this, and you take your medicine. Shout outs to World Wide West, because he actually was very big in getting a lot of these coaches and a lot of the people in the front office that stuck around, that helped to get some of these rosters together, that's helped to get some of these coaching tree together. World Wide West was a big help
Yes,
in
William
getting a lot of
Wesley.
this stuff together.
William Wesley, as many people call him by, and yeah, just take the T out of that last part. It's West, like Worldwide West, without the T at the end, but close enough. Worldwide West, Worldwide West. Yes, without William Wesley, the Knicks would not be where they are right now, and he's still
I
here
called
with the
him
Knicks.
World Wide West to make fun of him.
Of course,
so I have
understand.
to own it.
Of course, I understand.
West.
I understand.
That's right. Worldwide, Mr. Worldwide, they always call him.
And he's still here. And he's still here to this day, still as a executive vice president, senior advisor for the Knicks. He's still here, and he's never left.
He's been the guy in the shadows, helping Leon Rose get all this done. He's been he's been the Robin to Leon Rose's Batman.
And he's been here since Tibbs got here in 2020. So they've all So now a chance for the fruits of those labors to finally pay off 6 years later could be right here in the making.
And he
But
was
now,
actually Tibbs's biggest defender worldwide West. He
mm,
was he was the guy that brought Tibbs in, was Tibbs's
yeah,
biggest defender,
yeah.
was the guy who was on Tibbs's side the most, and
Well,
he was the one that recommended Mike Brown.
well, Tibbs was here in '99. Let's not forget Tibbs was serving under Van Gundy. Tibbs was here all those years ago. So look, I'm sure I would hope that the Knicks, again, got to win the last two games. If they do, I'm sure the right things will come
But
out of whatever happens here. Obviously, there's going to be a
exactly.
lot of people
But
that deserve.
I'm gonna tell you something though. Now that I see it, hindsight's 2020, but now that I see it, yeah, it was right to move on from Thibodeau. His style was holding them back.
It's
There
hard.
wasn't
It
enough.
wasn't easy. You can imagine how difficult that was to.
Although granted, I think if Thibodeau had this bench that Mike Brown has, you
I
would have
mean,
seen it.
he had one a few years ago, but they got hurt. There was nothing Tibbs could have done there. I mean, like
Yeah, exactly.
the meteor bench got hurt at the wrong time, and that killed them. And that killed the
That's
Knicks
right.
in the playoffs a few
I
years
think they
ago.
would
I
have went.
know.
I think they would have went to the finals that year. They lost
Even then,
they lost to Indiana in the semis. I think they would have.
well,
I think they would have went to the finals
very
that year.
possible. It's very possible. All right. But right now, as we wrap this up, 8:30, just 30 minutes from now will be game three.
Yep.
And there's going to be a lot riding on the line tonight. The Knicks can either be one step away, which I would hope to believe that they can, and pull this off and keep the winning going, but do not count the Spurs out. We have seen this team fight throughout the whole series. They didn't get here because they didn't
Listen,
earn
I've
it. They're a tough
I've
team.
said Knicks. Listen, I've said Knicks in five. I'm sticking with my prediction, Knicks in five. I want to be wrong, but I am an analyst and I have to go by what I say. And I think this is the game they lose. I think this is the game the Knicks
Well,
lose.
I expect. Look, the Spurs are going to come out playing desperate. They know what's on. They know what's on the line for them tonight. They can't. They know, and the Spurs can't afford. In their world, the Spurs can't afford to go down 0-3. They can't.
Nope.
Well, we're going to find out tonight which Spurs team is showing up this evening.
However, I would take the over on the cat assists for the night, but here's the thing. Depending on how the Spurs lose will let me know how the Spurs win will let me know exactly what kind of series we're expecting the rest of the way.
Well, we definitely saw
Because
the
I think
Spurs change it up in game two. They did change things up in game two. You did see Wemby attacking the paint more, which is what the Spurs really need to be doing with him. Also, the Spurs are a +10 when Dylan Harper's out on the court. Are they going to use Harper more? Are they going to maybe even start Harper, possibly?
no. But what they have to do, they have to get Karl-Anthony Towns in foul trouble in the first quarter.
Well,
They have to
considering how
slap
that
him with two
happened last
fouls.
night, that happened pretty quickly last night with how the game was called last night. Towns picked up
No,
three fouls in one quarter.
Yeah, but they didn't do it in the first quarter, which was the problem.
Hmm.
They didn't get him. They didn't hit him with his second foul until I want to say like midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, I thought it was more like maybe going into like the third is where they kind of started to hit him with the fouls. That's where because he picked up
Yeah,
three fouls in like a short instant. So
exactly. Yeah, he picked up fouls 3, 4, and 5 in the third quarter,
I thought it was 2, 3, and 4, but whichever.
or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 2, 3,
Whatever.
and 4
But
because he got five around the fourth quarter. That's when he picked up his fifth one. And look, they were doing the same thing to Josh Hart also. And Hart was the one they really got into foul trouble early. Josh Hart was the one that got killed with the fouls early on.
yeah, they targeted the wrong guy. The one they really need to target is Karl-Anthony Towns. He's the one that makes this team go.
Well,
Brunson's the kill shot at the end of the game. Karl-Anthony Towns is the team's engine. He's the one that gets it started, that gets it revving, that gets the team up, that gets the team going, and he's the one that keeps the team in the game with a good stop, a good rebound, a good putback, a big three. He's the one that seems to be out there also as a star doing the dirty work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm the Spurs And I'm looking at game three. I'm not worried about Brunson as much as I'm worried about Karl Anthony Towns. And I'm looking at Karl Anthony Towns and I'm saying, you know what? I want Jalen Brunson to beat me for 4 quarters because I don't know if he can.
Well,
But
because
I
well,
know,
the fourth quarter is where Brunson has shown up, and honestly, Brunson's been held to about 36% shooting in 2 games so far. So Brunson hasn't even been playing his best game yet. He hasn't been playing like the Brunson we know.
that's correct. And to me, if I'm looking at that and I'm San Antonio, I'm looking at a big bad super cat. And I really don't want Big Purr out there messing up Wembenyama. I really don't. You need to find a way to run two-man stunts at Cat to get him in foul trouble. That what that means is somehow getting Cat out of position where he's defending two guards coming at him.
Mm. That could be something
That's how
Castle
you
might
have to.
do. That could be something
Yeah,
Castle does.
that's got to be Castle and Harper have to be the ones attacking Cat,
Mm.
not Wembenyama. Wembenyama cannot do anything with Karl Anthony Towns.
As we've seen in 2 games, it's been clear Cat's been the better, has been winning the battle single-handedly with Wemby. You know,
Yep.
all
And
right.
at this point in time, when it comes to best big man in the NBA, here's the answer: Super Kitty.
Super
We
Kitty.
still
Yep.
got we still got a little ways to go,
No.
but Super Kitty.
All right. And with that, that's going to wrap up this edition of Downtown Sports. I want to thank Chris DeLarge. I want to thank Tony Mainville. I want to thank our friends at the Professional Fanatics podcast. You can listen to Downtown Sports. We're on 24 different platforms. We're on Spotify. We're on Spotify for creators. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Bullhorn, Podbay, Listen Notes, Podcast Addict, Verbal, Castro.fm, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, Podvine, Podyssey, Odyssey, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, TuneIn, YouTube, and on TikTok. Episodes, rants, digital market battles, specials every week. We are Downtown Sports. We are where sports come home.
If you are going to Madison Square Garden, be safe. If you are in Manhattan, be safe. If you are traveling from San Antonio to come to New York to watch these games, be safe out here.
Yes.
This is not, you're not going to get the kind of welcome that you gave New Yorkers. Okay.
No.
This is a very different place. So be safe, have fun. This is the NBA Finals. This is a wild ride. This is going to be one hell of a week for New York sports. And with that, we're going to go watch it. So we'll see you next week. Deuces.
Goodbye and good night.